September 8th, 2008. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, episode 54.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Well, welcome back to Die Hard Gamer Radio. I can't believe we've done 54 of these things.
Have a game on pause,
say
Steve?
that every time?
Sure.
Have a game on pause?
All right.
So,
I was contemplating playing Mercenaries earlier, but
yeah, why is your Xbox on? You're trying to
because
burn
I was
down your
contemplating
apartment
playing
complex?
Mercenaries earlier, and I forgot it was on. So.
Well, you can hear it from here. I mean, how do you forget that?
Well, because I was listening to the football game, and so.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do the introductions here. I'll start on my right. I have John.
Still me.
I have Steve, and I have Brian.
I have to adjust all the sliders now so that John is more to the right and a little more to the left.
Now that you've given actual positional cues.
Positioning. Now I got to mess it all up. Anyway, go on.
Okay, so if the audio sounds weird during this podcast, you'll know why.
It's because we've intentionally tried to disorient and confuse you. We control the horizontal, we control the vertical.
Yes.
Or at least the balance.
Indeed.
Okay, so I guess we'll start off with our first news bit. We have a game announcement for no one who is interested, apparently. Guitar Praise. It is a Christian-themed Guitar Hero. It actually comes with a guitar controller. It runs on your PC and your Mac and has about 50 licensed Christian rock tracks, which I don't know.
All of which suck.
Yeah. So
It actually sounds pretty cool. You can actually, it's in stereo and shit. It's pretty cool.
Steve is on
good
the
work
drugs.
there, audio engineer person.
Thanks.
yes, this is why Steve is doing the audio now, because he has better ears than all of us.
So I don't know, this whole guitar praise thing, it seems like a genre that's awfully well suited to people doing loads of knockoffs, and it doesn't even seem like a bad idea.
I got four words for you. Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not kill. Oh.
Yeah, but if they followed that, we wouldn't have Guitar Hero or Rock Band. We'd just, have guitar freaks, and it would still suck.
No, we would have Wii Music.
Well, I don't really have a problem with it, though. My only problem with it is that the vast majority of Christian music sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, more than a normal 90% of anything.
Well, don't buy this one then.
I know, but why would they even bother making it? I mean,
Because there's people who only get to spend their lunch money on Christian music?
yeah, but they only get to spend their money on Christian food, too.
I think they're shopping at the wrong place.
Really
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, well.
So, moving on, as you know, Guitar Praise is so interesting to our audience, is
I
Death.
praise my guitar.
Well, actually, you do praise your guitar, don't you?
Yeah.
Good
sometimes.
guitar, good guitar.
Although there was an interesting thing. They just did a study on massively multiplayer gamer demographics. And one of the few ways which it diverged from the population as a whole is that gamers were much less religious.
Awesome.
That's interesting.
So, I guess there won't be any churches in World of Warcraft anytime soon, right?
Well,
Maybe.
there are.
There
churches
are.
in World War. The humans, the starting point. The humans have a starting point at church. The undead have a starting point at the church.
Same church.
The
Back.
the night elves have
They just
the
go
night
out
elves
the back
have a
door.
starting point
Yeah.
at their holy tree. I mean,
Zombies at the back door.
there's religion all over the place in World of Warcraft, man.
Which does make me wonder, though. If you were a Mormon, could you get your missionary credit out of the way on a massively multiplayer game?
Well, maybe.
I don't know if you can
Man,
find
imagine
a
the
bike
credit you
in-game,
could get in
but-
Eve. I missionaried to an entire sector of space. Eat that, bike boy.
Are you done?
Yeah. No.
Okay. So next up, News that will interest probably just me and Brian. Death Smiles to come out on Xbox 360 by Cave.
Making me
There's
want to
no
buy an import
shmup love for
360.
any of us here in the States. I'm importing an Xbox 360.
Yeah. Gaijin Punch may be our only hope.
Well, the price drop just happened, and as soon as they make more Xbox 360s, because I guess they're still kind of sold out in Japan,
Yeah.
I'll be picking one up.
Gaijin said he's got one on the way right now, so.
Well, was he charging like 200 plus 100 in shipping?
Yeah.
So,
Has the game released in Japan yet, though?
not yet. It was really
Do we know if it has a region lock or not yet?
well. Thought all Xbox 360 games had region lock.
No, it's up to the developer whether or not they decide to put a region lock on it or not.
Well,
The hardware supports it, and it's like on the Play Asia things. When you look through the list, nearly all of the U.S. releases are region free.
It's not generally the same for imports,
what about
though.
what about the Japanese stuff? It's kind of up in the air.
I mean, I don't remember taking a close look at that list. It looks like things that they think they'll be able to sell to somebody, they've been putting locks on so that they don't harm their market. But if they think they can't sell it, they seem to be leaving it region free. So I don't know. It probably depends on how optimistic they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how
I
much
doubt
of it-
it's going to be an issue with the shmup market over there. They'll sell it over there regardless.
It depends on how much of a insular hikikomori you are, whether or not they think they can sell it in the U.S. or not.
Huh.
There's just enough shmups on it on the 360 now and coming out that it's worth getting one now.
Yeah, I think
I still wanna play
I
Gradius
think I'll
6.
still import one regardless.
Radius 6 is going to be awesome.
Well,
I don't know.
also
I mean, I thought
Otomedius.
Senko no Ronde
Yeah,
would never
Otomedius.
come to the U.S., and
Yeah,
it
well,
did.
It,
It
yeah,
was a surprise.
no one bought it, but it was still a surprise. I bought it, but then again, I bought it for what, $4.99?
Yeah, bargain bin fodder.
Yeah. So next up, Metal Gear Solid 5 confirmed. So
Shocking.
I have on the footnotes here. Let's say it all together:
I can't
a sequel
even
to a
believe it.
successful franchise. Shocking.
Well, and it took about the same amount of time as usual for Kojima to say that he wasn't going to work on another one,
Yeah,
and for them to announce there was going to be a sequel.
yeah, pretty much.
So
Maybe this one will be a prequel, or a
well, they've
not.
already done a prequel. It's called Metal Gear Solid
prequel of
3.
a prequel of a prequel.
Maybe the next one will be set in 10,000 BC.
Yes, yes, it will.
A stealth game
It'll be-
involving caves. And,
It'll be
you
a
know,
Mayan, Japanese, something or other.
well, Kojima would probably do that too. That's
Yeah,
that's
I know.
actually
It's
kind
the
of the scary
sad part
thing.
of it all.
And a giant nuclear missile launching sun god.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't
Wasn't that in
give-
Superman 4?
And,
it was not.
and something
No.
with Raiden.
Oh man.
You might just replace all the NPCs with Raiden,
Yeah.
really.
He might as well.
Just all time-traveling clones that have replaced the entire Mayan civilization.
They might as well. It's the only people that they're paying attention to. So,
So Brian is watching the television. He's looking at something. It looks like the SCA is making a commercial or something like that. I don't know what's going on.
move on to the next topic.
Yeah, all right. So next up, Tekken 6 Bloodline Rebellion announced, which is kind of a remake of Tekken 6 in some way, but we don't know how.
Once again,
There was a
sequel to
Tekken
a
6?
successful franchise.
Well,
Shocking.
Tekken 6 is arcade only, and as far as I know, I don't think there's any arcade machines here in the States. I think it's just Japan only. And then they come up with an upgrade called Bloodline Rebellion, which I know it's supposed to have like extra parts you can buy for characters, and you can edit them and save them to a card of some kind.
Otherwise, they're milking the same game again.
Yep.
Huh. Well, it'll be exciting when you get to pay the $5 for the schoolgirl outfits then.
Oh,
Hell,
yeah.
that's in Soul Calibur.
Yay.
That's a
Oh,
downloadable thing
Okay,
for Soul
getting my
Calibur.
fighting
4.
game
right.
downloadable content mixed
all
up.
mixed up.
Well, actually, the
Need
schoolgirl.
I need my schoolgirl outfit for Voldo.
Well, no. First of all, it's only for the female characters, thank God. But it's Japan only. The schoolgirl downloadable content, Japan only. Can't imagine why.
Wonder how you export that sort of thing.
Don't know. So, next up, we have a new Gauntlet announced for the DS. Gauntlet, kind of an old franchise.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that they bothered to update it all as they've remade
Well,
it.
it's
Nope.
made of polygon graphics, which are, I guess the DS's strong point.
Yeah,
Help me out here.
I'm sure they'll make great use of that touchscreen too.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Probably get to
I'm
tap
actually
on
glad
the
you
food.
mentioned
Dragon
that,
Lord
'cause,
gouges in your touchscreen.
Yeah, you're gonna wear out your touchscreen if you're playing Gauntlet.
They should just they should have for the first month only released Pac-Man, and just to see how many gouges you can do of the shape of the actual Pac-Man maze. We'll see these wear marks that are exactly that shape.
That'd be awesome.
I did have that experience when I was at the pharmacy the other day.
Yeah,
I was looking at this set of I was looking at the two choices that were there. Do you want to have your drugs explained to you or not? I wasn't sure what to choose until I looked at it and saw that the "no, I don't want you to explain it to me" was worn all the way down. The other one, not so much. I know what the default answer is now.
That's funny. That's
So,
funny stuff.
next up, and this might interest Steve.
What?
The Buffy the Vampire Slayer MMO announced.
Have you read the thing, like what they're planning to do with this?
It's supposed to be like a Flash.
No,
2D game and then a 3D game.
It's like screwed up. They're like going to start doing the thing by the beginning of the game is going to be a Flash interface, which will then later on they will release a 2D interface. Then they will release a 3D interface, but they want them all to be able to be used at the same time.
That won't work.
Well, there's
I feel like a
actually
Picasso
been
painting.
some games that have done that. There's this one weird cell phone, massively multiplayer game that has 3 different clients that all access the same game world. So
I
it's
know.
not impossible, but it seems like the whole canceling the Firefly one before they announced the Buffy one was a great way to alienate the fans who might have liked the Buffy one.
Well, yeah, but it's more lulls for us that like to see the Firefly fans hurt. I enjoy their pain. It's
I
really
do
what it
as
boils
well.
down to.
As
So
brown
I'm
coats
all
are the
for
most
canceling the
annoying
Firefly
fans in
MMO.
fandom.
Because
That
the Firefly
seems like
MMO
a
is
pretty high
basically,
standard.
is basically Eve in a smaller universe.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
well, actually,
Well,
it's Earth and beyond in a single solar system.
Every
Did
server.
they ever even release any design or
I never even
concept
knew it
art
existed.
Even? Or, yeah.
I'd never
Until
heard
I
of it until
was
it canceled.
yeah,
So, yeah.
didn't know it was
So-
happening.
That'd be an interesting MMO is like Space Above and Beyond.
Yeah,
That could've been cool.
that comes up later. That's later in the podcast, actually.
Yeah.
So, Buffy MMO, every server has a Hellmouth.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Can't imagine it's going to be very awesome. I wish it would be, but it probably won't be.
well,
It seems like betting on new massively multiplayer games sucking is a safe bet.
Yeah.
yep. So, next up, the Spore versus DRM equals unhappy customers. So, Spore has over 100
or
one-star
unhappy
customer
non-customers.
reviews. Well,
Yeah. People who aren't going to pay for it anyway, complaining about it.
It's already been hacked and put on torrent.
well, that
Well,
was
yeah, that's a given.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
I mean,
done,
really.
like,
somebody
2
released
days
it
later.
in Australia a couple of days ago early, and boom, it took like a day, and it was up.
Well,
So-
the thing is, there's in some countries there's actually an industry for renting PC games, and so there have to be versions, and they're not like mom and pop stores; they're chains that rent PC games, and so there's got to be versions out there that are DRM free because that would never work.
Or they just can't rent those games.
Well, there was folks on Otaku or on Otaku.
Kotaku.
It was either Kotaku or it was on Opposable Thumbs, one of the two. Were actually saying they've rented it. They went out and rented it and said, and went back. So apparently it's somewhere.
I don't
I
know.
mean, that would
or
be my
maybe
bet.
these places burn the pirate copy. to
Well,
it
that's
and stick
entirely
it up on the
possible
shelf.
too, I suppose.
That
You
seems
might be
likely.
on to something there.
I think you have a new business,
We torrent it for you.
so you don't have to.
Yep.
Apparently.
So, yeah, the Spore has a limit of 3 installs, which I'm not quite sure why this is a big deal.
Or 4 if you whine loudly enough.
Yeah. Well, you supposedly you can call them and have them reactivate them, but I think it's far too early to figure out if this is the really annoying reactivate or the Microsoft reactivate. Which is, I need to reactivate. Okay.
Well, and we've seen some other draconian DRM on games like this. when Oblivion released on the PC, where 3 months later they release the patch that knocks an awful lot of it out because they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
All the pirates have their copy. We can move on.
Yeah. They just haven't gotten around to the point of actually figuring out that in the first place you might as well just not do that.
So
I'll get there eventually.
Yep.
Someday.
So next up, Steve thinks Jumpgate Evolution looks interesting.
Space Above and Beyond is what this is. There was actually a video. There was a video.
Is it as
go to
boring as
slash.
Space Above and Beyond?
I
I
loaded
like
it on my
Space
PC,
Above.
but I forgot to watch it. I got sidetracked.
I liked that show.
You're definitely in the minority and not liking that
I'm
show,
liking that. I thought it was a pretty good show. It was a sad thing that it got canceled.
Yeah, I
especially
thought
on a
it was a cool show.
cliffhanger.
Yeah, the cliffhanger ending was not so hot.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But I'm
yeah,
honest.
it actually looked pretty decent. It looked kind of like a fun space game thing.
The original Jumpgate was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's still up.
And I know Auto
200
Assault
people
was
on
not a commercial success, but it's the massively multiplayer game I've played the most of any of them in the last,
There you go.
I don't know, decades. So,
Well, yeah, but
Devil, go.
wasn't the competition for that one something Neocron and
Eve.
Eve?
Eve.
Yeah,
Eve was a competition there, really.
Neocron wasn't much of a competition.
No, it wasn't.
But it looked really cool. Apparently, they have Newtonian physics that you can turn on or turn off depending on how you want to play the game.
See it, the 2-flight mode toggle thing.
Yeah, they have the newbie mode, they call it, and and there was some argument about there, but one of the devs came on and said, no, you got to realize this is the newbie mode demo. You're basically flying the level 1 fighter that you use until level 5, and you can turn it off if you want. And they actually show in the.
Does that mean they don't have a top speed when you're in Newtonian mode?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm unaware if that's the case or not. But they, you can see the enemy fighters actually flipping on their axes and firing, and it looked pretty cool. And you don't just have to be in fighters; you can be in haulers and stuff. So that was, I presume that means there's an economy of some sort. So
One would imagine.
Yeah.
And you don't need Newtonian to be able to do the other axes thing. And
Yeah.
one of the things I liked with Wing Commander is they retained that World War II dogfighter style, but they gave the key you could hold down that was keep going in the same direction I was and point some other one. Worked pretty well.
I can't remember what else I saw on that actually looked kind of. I mean, they have a long interview they did at PAX on that was linked off of Slashdot, so worth looking at.
Okay. So our last bit of gaming news, and John kind of pointed this out to me. Nintendo has something better than a hard drive coming out.
Well, they claim they have something better than a hard drive coming out.
Well,
It's going to be a sandwich that hooks up your USB drive. It's better than a hard drive if you're hungry.
So the CEO of Nintendo, Reggie Fils-Aimé, basically is like, well, we have something better than a hard drive planned that will solve this whole hard drive issue, but not really.
It seems like they got tired of people asking for a hard drive.
So they have something better. So
that's not a hard drive.
Yes.
And that doesn't actually store things.
Yeah.
And
so
in
you'll be
fact,
able
a
to
delicious
you'll be
sandwich.
able to burn your
which
games to disk,
which has a selection of 3 different cheeses.
So
yeah, I would be hard pressed to think of something better than a delicious sandwich.
Yeah.
Really, no competition.
A USB sandwich.
Well, they would
What
have
was
to
that?
the add-ons for the sandwich would cost extra, though.
Well, yeah.
Only if it came from EA.
I can even see how this would work out too. It's like, well, you don't have enough room to store your games on there, but you can download them again while you're eating the sandwich.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
business model. You should open up a restaurant like that.
Yeah. Pretty much. We download while you snack.
That sounds pretty.
Yeah.
I think there's value here.
And,
It's like at lunchtime, you're reading on Kotaku and, hey, there's something on Xbox Live that I wanted to download. You go to the little restaurant, you get a sandwich, and they'll download the Xbox Live stuff for you. And,
it'll be a little frightening, though, when they start coming out with a Pikachu-branded sandwich.
It goes pika pika when you bite it.
And it's bright yellow.
Yeah, well, maybe it's made of banana peppers.
We can only hope.
Or banana pikas.
Banana Pikas.
Yep.
I think that's the name of a J-pop band.
If not, it will be in about 5 minutes.
We'll be done when I'm done with the Photoshop.
Yep.
It seems like an awful lot of the rumors are about people guessing for online storage, but that seems pointless since that's essentially what they already do and doesn't actually improve the situation any.
Wow.
Yeah, I
I'm,
think
I'm at a loss.
they're gonna have
Burn the CD.
neural nets. They actually store it in your brain
You're going to be able to upload your saved data onto, like,
to your
orbital
amygdala.
satellites and
To your
stuff.
amygdala. You store your save games in your amygdala.
That's going to be kind of a bummer for the druggies.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit the bong a little too hard and they corrupt their files.
Yeah.
and-
No! My Squeenix saves.
Wait, there's Squeenix games on the Wii?
Shush.
Okay, now. All right. So we're done with the. It might be a hard drive, but it's not.
Yes. Yes. Next.
It's Schrodinger's hard drive, apparently.
Schrodinger's WiiWare.
What? Ooh.
Yep. Poor Schrodinger.
So if you open the box and Schrodinger's Wii is. No, wait, that doesn't
The
work.
blue light might be flashing or it might not be. You don't know until you check.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Ugh.
All right, moving on.
Okay. So, next up, a quick announcement for those who are going to non-DesCon. We are doing Game Turkey Live. Well, not we. It'll be me, Angry John, and our good friend Bakadon talking about really lousy games in front of people that don't quite understand us.
Well, that sounds like a good time.
Well, it is.
Are you actually going to play really bad games there?
No.
You're just going to reminisce about the horror.
That's just my phone. Ignore it.
Turn off your phone.
It's not near the microphones.
It'll still pick it up.
It's in a different part of the room.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, Mario, your phone
elsewhere.
is in another castle.
Yes. 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 Yes.
See, this is why I have phones turned off.
Oh, shut up.
Okay.
There, it's off. You happy?
Are you happy? Big
Well,
whiny baby.
I'm no,
It's like in 20 years, people are going to be like, "Oh man, this podcast is old. He had a cell phone,
yeah. Now we're using
amygdala
crystals
Well, we're
shoved up
halfway
our
there.
ass.
You can go buy a job.
It'll just all be
send-
Twitter.
It'll
Yeah,
all
all
be
be
Twitter.
Get the
Okay,
vibrations
I'm
through
pooping.
your jaw.
Yeah,
Poop
now
is
you're-
coming out.
Yep. Freaking Twitter.
It cost you like $150 for that attachment.
Do any of you have a Twitter account? Because if you do, I'm going to slap you
I do.
right here and now.
I have a Twitter account.
You do?
Yeah.
Come here,
What?
so I can slap you.
What?
I'm going to slap you. Why do you
Man.
have a Twitter account?
I'm a whore for technology.
This is true.
You're
Look at this. I got look at it. Look at how much technology I have sitting in front of me just to do the podcast. Realize that's like $2,500 worth of technology to do a podcast once every 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, but
Well,
you don't
yeah,
need a Twitter
but-
account, though.
Oh yeah, because that's the problem with me. It's a Twitter account.
Well, it is. I mean,
Apparently,
what
you didn't know that,
Twittering?
Steve,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you do now.
I'm not Twittering at all. I have an account.
Oh,
More like a
You could
Twitch.
start Twittering
You didn't
his technology
specify whether or not I
purchases.
actually use it or not.
okay.
I have a MySpace account too. I don't use it.
Well, MySpace is where the internet goes to die. Okay.
MySpace is where the internet goes to get hot sex.
Really? Now I thought that was Craigslist.
No, that's the hookers.
And the difference is
One's more
It's funny,
expensive.
you just go
One
down
costs
to-
money.
oh,
You just go down to Morrison Road and get hookers. I mean,
Morrison Road.
how would you know?
according to my friend of mine.
This
This
guy
guy.
I know.
This guy I know that doesn't have the exact name that I do. You want to elaborate, Brian?
Oh, Raph said he was driving. No, I swear to God, he said I was driving by there the other day and I just saw some hookers on Morrison Road. And I'm like, wow, they're really pushing out to the burbs.
Well, you
Are
have
you
to.
sure they weren't just high school students?
They could just have been high school students.
If anybody can spot a hooker, he can.
They were waiting for the long bus to NDK.
I mean, we come from the old school. You can generally tell hookers from jailbait. Generally.
Are you planning on using this mutant power of yours at NDK?
Good
Yes.
luck with that.
Yeah, that's going to put me to the real test.
Snack guy always gets the girls.
Really now?
Yep.
Because they like the sticks.
Yes, they like his stick.
His pixie stick.
Yes.
It's covered in chocolate.
This
and
chocolate
nuts.
covered nut stick.
Was that the gentleman brand or
The
gentleman?
men's.
men's.
No, it's the
Yeah.
it's the almond pocky, also known as the French tickler pocky.
Uh-huh. Men's Pocky.
Men's, even though mostly women eat it. But moving on.
So
as it should
speaking
be.
about men's Pocky, so Cho and Iggy's coming out on the week.
Nice segue.
It's not a nice segue. So we've got chocolate-covered sticks and a homoerotic shooter.
Uh-huh.
Can't see the connection between those two, huh?
I would like to
come
have
to
seen
you.
the discussion where they decided that was the next game they were going to bring out on
They don't
WiiWare.
have anything else to bring out.
They've gone through the entire NES and SNES back library at this point.
Well,
I-
that's entirely possible. Actually, I really wouldn't find that to be beyond the realm of possibility.
That they were forced to bring out Choaniki.
Well, yeah, because they've already ported everything else they've ever made.
Well,
So does that mean we're going to see the sequel next?
Yes.
Even better.
Yes.
No, not a good idea. They should bring out Toilet Kids next if they're going to go that route.
Ah, there you go. Quality entertainment.
Yep. So, next up, we've got a review. We've got two reviews, but I will start with Infinite Undiscovery.
So is this in fact the worst title ever for role-playing?
Wait,
game?
we're avoiding the thing that we're going to ignore?
Yes.
We should mention it if we're going to ignore it.
Okay. Well, we were going to talk about the whole Gamers Bill of Rights, but when we discussed it before the podcast, there was general apathy toward the whole subject, so we decided to skip it.
I think that there's general apathy towards the whole subject in general is why we're skipping it.
Yeah.
It would have gone over better, I think, if they hadn't called it the Gamers Bill of Rights.
Well, what
That's
should they
just
have called it?
something less pretentious.
Something like, hey, developers, do this shit.
Stuff we wish, wasn't in our
Developer's
games.
agenda.
The developer's agenda.
It's got to be like,
The developer's will.
shit developers don't do. Good developers don't do.
I mean, because trying to
Well,
Well, they were
claim
saying
to
that
have
this
a,
is what developers should do, but they don't.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
So protocols.
Yes, the protocols of the gamer.
No, it's manifesto.
Oh, yes, good. That'll be less pretentious.
But trying to claim you have like a right to non-intrusive or to not having intrusive DRM is like trying to say you've got a right to banana sundaes.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to make that claim.
Hey, I have a right
USB sandwiches. I have a right to
Are you
those.
hungry?
No.
Okay, I'm just asking. You've been mentioning, mixing electronic equipment and food.
Well,
Anyway, Infinite Undiscovery, worst named RPG ever. Yes or no?
Let me track the database. The database being my head, to see if I can think of something that is worse titled than that. And it has to be an RPG, right?
I would assume so. Yes.
Yeah, that knocks out Trio the Punch, or Ninja Clown.
well, but that Ninja Clown's an awesome name.
Well,
That's
it's
true.
not. It's totally
it's
not
descriptive.
an awesome
Well, it doesn't have to be a good game. It's the dumbest name.
game. Okay, then I would have to go with. Yeah, I cannot think of an RPG that has a dumber name than Infinite Undiscovery. And I've played a lot of dumb RPGs.
It does have a hard to beat combination of flowery prefix and not actually a word.
Well, it's not a word. But there's a nifty explanation of how they came up with the word, but it's really not important to the review. It's kind
So
of
how was the game then?
well, if you
Not as good as you might think.
well, it's above average, but that's really about it. Basically, it's your standard Japanese RPG. I mean, you're going to get all the
so that
cliches.
gets us 90% of the game description right
Yeah.
there.
You're going to get all the cliches, and you're going to get some really, really horrible voice acting. In fact, I was
Isn't that a cliche?
well, yeah, I think at this point it would be. Cliche.
Was there an option for a Japanese language track if it was in fact that bad?
No,
Bummer.
no, but I went to the GameFAQs forums, the worst place on the internet to go. I keep reminding everyone, and they said, "Oh, by the way, there's no way to change the language options." But thankfully, there is a option to turn the voice down to 0, which is what I did before I started playing the game.
So just subtitles and moving lips and
Pretty much.
okay.
So you actually didn't actually hear the voice acting.
No, I actually saw the video of the bad voice acting when I was watching the promo video, and it's like, ew, this hurts. I mean, this really just hurts. I mean, emotionally, it hurts me. So
you should be less emotionally invested in your RPGs.
I'm really not
Especially
emotionally
your
invested in a lot
JRPGs
of
is
things.
probably the best thing.
But basically,
That's true. You start identifying with JRPG characters,
And you're done.
yeah,
It's
I'm
time to
done.
become Ann Hero at that point.
So basically, the nice thing about the game, though, is that it's short. It's,
as if
Awesome.
you were forced to actually play it.
it's actually about 25 to 30 hours.
Which, that sounds like a pretty reasonable length for a JRPG. I hope
seems
that
actually
means
kind
there
of
wasn't some
short.
painful grinding. in
Well,
the
I
middle.
mean, 120 hours when 120 of that hours really isn't necessary for the game. Doesn't really need to be done,
Well, the nice thing is that there isn't a lot of horrible grinding you need to do.
Well, yeah, because it's only 25 to 30 hours long.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that much grinding in your average Final Fantasy game,
You do.
much less the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
You do.
The best thing about the game, though, is the battle system. And the developer of the game is Tri-Ace, and Tri-Ace is always known for making very innovative battle systems. So at least when you're fighting, it's not boring.
Did they do the Star Ocean games?
Yes, they did Star Ocean and they did Valkyrie
Our
Profile.
ocean.
So the battle system's actually very good.
What makes it different?
Well, for one thing, it's not turn-based.
Okay.
In fact, it kind of it almost plays like an MMORPG in a way. You don't give commands, but every button is like assigned a character, and you can give them. I mean, you can kind of interrupt them, or they can have their own macros, kind of like Final Fantasy 12. But what you do in your environment causes enemies to appear or not to appear. So, for example, if you're in a forest and you cause a lot of noise, you're going to cause more enemies to appear because you're giving out your location. But if you're kind of silent and stealthy and stay away from lit areas, you don't get as many enemies. So actually, what you do affects how many enemies come. But I'm the type.
Do you actually get to see the enemies on the screen so that you know that you're doing that, or does it just change the random spawn rate?
No, you actually see the enemies.
Okay, that's always promising.
Yeah, and I mean that was really nice. And the battle system, I mean, it's all A is your slash, B is your strong slash. Here's your magic, stuff like that. So it plays kind of like an action game.
That sounds
way.
promising.
Yeah,
And Rogue Galaxy had a combat system like that, and I thought it was the best part of the game.
yeah. Now the one of the big problems I had is that there's slowdown.
Ooh.
Yeah, slowdown in an Xbox 360 game.
Ooh, and an RPG
Not a
at
good
that.
sign.
Yeah. So I don't know what they were programming, or I don't know what they were smoking, but
What they weren't.
well, I don't know what they were doing, but it's like, okay.
They forgot to use the graphic acceleration libraries.
I
We
guess.
might just put this one down as further proof that Japan is no longer the center of the gaming world.
It's
Yeah,
Europe.
It's definitely moving north.
Here, I thought it was Australia, but okay.
Australia is the center of the gaming world when it comes to banning games. Or is that was that New Zealand or is that
Germany, probably
Germany?
Germany.
Probably
yeah,
Germany.
Germany's the king of banning.
So, I mean, otherwise, I mean, the game right now is like 54 because it's a 2-disc RPG. I don't know
Okay.
why. I mean, it's got a lot of FMB, but still, I mean,
Probably all that voice acting.
yeah, which I turned off. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't. It's not worth full price. I mean, I returned it.
But slow down, I'd say it's not even worth third price. Or
No,
third of the
I would
price.
definitely wait till it gets down to maybe the $30 mark before even
You got
considering
slow
a
down
purchase.
to that extreme. Is there
Well,
any way
it's
to
not-
patch something like that?
it's not bad, but it's noticeable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like slow down in a shmup, but it doesn't help you in this game.
Yeah.
So
Thank God we had slowdown. I was able to read the whole paragraph.
yeah.
But
Well, it's not on the text actually.
yeah. Okay.
So where would you say it fell in the spectrum of 360 RPGs? Since we've had I don't know,
Mediocre.
half dozen of them now.
It's mediocre. I mean, it's not great. It's not bad, but I mean, it's flaw. I mean, here
Is it better than any of the other 360 RPGs that have come out?
Well, there's really not that many. No, there are better choices, I would say.
So it is, in fact, the worst RPG to come out on the 360.
No, it is not the worst, but it is
It's not the
definitely
worst.
the
Well,
big
what
the big
would
problem
be, what
with
would the question would be then? What is the worst?
I don't know. I
What
haven't
what
played
is
that many.
not as good as? Well, what are you comparing it against to say it's not the worst?
What about Dragon? The
Blue Dragon.
Blue Dragon. Yeah.
Blue Dragon is awful. Oh man.
But is it better than this game? This is really what the point we're trying to get to here.
'Cause there's like what, three or
We're
four
making a
choices
take
right
a
now?
stand here.
Well, I only played the demo of Blue Dragon, so that's not a fair assessment. I can't, compare the two if I've only played the demo.
Okay.
So, I'm not going to be like, Game Pro here, okay? But it's a game that is you can see the potential in the game, and the potential is there, but it never actually happens.
So can we go with the hyperbole that this is the worst RPG you've played on
Sure,
the 360?
Sure. I haven't played that many RPGs
Run
on the
with it.
360, so
Run with it.
It's like he's freaking going campaigning for office.
I am.
I don't want to take a stand on any position.
Here's my vice presidential candidate. She's kind of a moron, but she looks really good in this short skirt.
Here's my vice presidential candidate. It runs about $60. It's an Xbox 360 game.
So
I might vote for that.
Would you?
Maybe.
What if it was?
Depends on if the game was, at least playable.
What if it was like 99 Nights?
Oh yeah, I played the fuck out of that game.
Yeah.
what if it was Kill Switch?
I was totally okay with the repetition.
Really? Then you totally like Bladestorm. Because Bladestorm's way better than 99 Nights was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay then.
Yeah. It's
So-
$20. Go
So,
buy it.
Steve, you wanted to talk about Mercenaries too.
Well, I'll talk about it a little bit.
Oh.
There's not
Shit
a lot of
blows up, right?
Shit blows up pretty much.
Is that your review?
If you like blowing shit up in a sandbox, this is your game.
How much is the game?
Oh, I don't know. I traded in some stuff.
It's brand new, so it's still $60.
Is it worth $60?
Probably not. It's worth $40 though.
Okay, well then you did.
I traded in.
I
the game.
tricked you into doing a review.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So is the destruction permanent in the game? Once a building's flattened,
That's a good question. I have to go back and look. I blew up a whole village just for the shits and giggles.
have you
So-
ever
Just for
seen
the
anything
lulz?
come back, or is it just that big? That
I haven't
after
gone back to
blowing
that.
shit up. that
Well, I
it's-
haven't gone back to it. So there was a mission where you have to get some guns that were stolen from this petroleum company's mercenaries, who are apparently noobs, and you get some money for getting it back. And the when I was before I grabbed the thing after I killed everybody in the village, I went to there was like a gunship that was anchored in front of the village, and swung out to the gunship and got on board and manned the guns and blew the crap out of the village.
Sounds like a good time.
It was fun stuff, but the village is off the road, so I haven't had a chance to go back there to see if it got blown up. So we'll have to look and see. I'll report back next time.
He'll report back.
I will.
So
From the land of Venezuela.
yes.
So do you have any review for us?
The aliasing is
or
really
is
You
it
bad.
remember
still-
how last podcast I was talking about playing Oblivion?
You're still playing Oblivion.
Yeah.
Hey, but the aliasing is really noticeable in Mercenary, by the way.
Huh.
Brian, have you played anything?
Just
That would- that would-
Jumpgate on the DS.
That would fall under the unpolished part
Oh,
that we were
yeah.
talking
It's
about.
unfortunate because the 360 usually seems to be pretty good about that kind of thing. But
Yeah, the aliasing is really noticeable on the hair and crap. So
That's.
Hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, did you like Ninja Gaiden?
I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And we're
I
talking
didn't
about
find
two
it to be
here.
as challenging as a lot
Right?
of people reviewed
Huh?
it to be.
Or Ninja Gaiden on the DS.
Yeah, Dragon Sword.
Ah, okay.
I didn't think it was as hard as everybody wrote it up to be. I was kind of surprised. I think it's just hard reflex-wise, but I don't think it was that hard of a game.
Well, you do have reflexes.
It helps.
So, anything else you want to share before we end this thing?
Yeah, let's do this.
Dead silent.
I pretty much got nothing.
Okay.
You know, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Waiting for Warhammer to come out.
Well,
Pretty much it.
we're already aware of that.
Yeah.
And Rock Band too.
Ugh,
You know,
Rock Band. I don't know what it is why you guys like Rock Band so much.
Well, I mean,
It's a good party game.
it is. It's a good. Yeah, you don't like playing with other people, so that's why you don't get it.
Well,
Although, what you call it, the bass guitar, the Mad Catz bass guitar came out today for the for that has like the 2 switches, so you can actually play it like you would play a real bass guitar.
Oh, interesting.
are you
It's actually almost it's 84% of the real scale, so it's actually almost the size of a real bass.
Nice.
are you planning on
So that
picking
means
it
it's
up?
like what, the size of a real guitar then?
Yeah, pretty much.
I saw that the.
I guess
actual,
somebody was giving the percentages. I guess the Rock Band Strat is like 64% of what real Strat.
Yeah.
Someone has time.
So
I saw that the drums for Rock Band 2 are actually going to be just a hair bigger around, and they've got their own covers on them.
And when they laid the pictures up for them, they looked a fair bit bigger than the old ones. It looked a lot nicer.
yeah.
Yeah, they definitely made a better quality drum top.
And
they're
they
a
are made
lot
of a
quieter
material
so
that
you're not hearing
won't
all this
break,
rebound
right?
off them.
Well, yeah, I mean that's really the thing. I mean they can make them bigger and everything. That's all well and good, but if so long as they make the mechanism actually better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
from what I was
Yeah.
reading, it's much improved.
And then the cool thing was it sounded like they made them springy when you hit them too,
That's
instead of
good.
just being a hard surface.
That was part of the it absorbed part of the shock from the.
So basically, what we've learned is when a new rhythm game comes out, wait till the second generation to get the good stuff.
Yes.
Because the second generation harmonics Guitar Heroes were actually better than the first generation one too.
Yep.
Who
They
plays
had,
Guitar Hero
better
still?
switches on them.
Yeah.
But
don't
everybody played Guitar Hero at Guitar Hero 2 because there wasn't an option.
Oh,
You could find Guitar Freaks, you could play it.
by the way, Brian, that PAX downloadable music pack, the patch will be in place on Thursday, so you can download it after
Cool.
Thursday. There was some problem with the downloading, and people couldn't download it, but
Download
after
it.
Thursday you can.
I'm
So
actually pretty excited about World Tour, to be honest, because never bought Rock Band, and well, the Guitar Hero instruments don't break.
Well, yeah. They kind of really were just. I mean, that's the only thing that I really don't like about Rock Band. I like everything about Rock Band except for the shitty guitars.
well, that seems to be
Even
a
though
very
lackluster.
important aspect of the game.
Well, I mean, it's that you can use the Guitar Hero guitars for it; they work just fine. But the Guitar Hero one had the little switch so you could change your effects
Right.
on it, and
And the little solo section.
yeah, and they kind of looked cooler. They were like a little bit
They
closer
did.
to being a real guitar than it was. But I even liked the drums I could deal with because they're kind of shitty, but they work most of the time. And hell, it's a game. I'm not trying to ace the game or something. I'm just trying to have fun with it.
Well, the new drums got those 3 jacks in the back too for the cymbals. That'll be kind of interesting.
I haven't really
See
looked
what
at
they
it
do for add-ons, or you
Yeah.
just
Those
spring
aren't
for
coming
the
out till, like, November, though,
$300
right?
Ion Storm
yeah,
one.
they're after
because like the games are gonna come out, but they're not gonna do the
Yeah, the
actual
peripherals
peripherals
won't-
until
I think
another
the
couple
peripherals
months.
are all going to release when the final game comes out in its last territory or something because it's not it's coming out like here, then I think Europe, and then Japan in the end.
And isn't like the bundle delayed? The game's
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
out
the
on time,
bundle's
Yeah.
but,
delayed
yeah.
until that last.
The bundle's
release, I
like coming
think.
out, or the game's coming out like next week or the week after, and the game doesn't come out till like November
They
or the
fucked
bundle
up their
doesn't.
production again.
or something. Yeah,
it'll be out before Christmas.
the
Just
frickin'
like every other fucking
well
game.
the fucking pack, and well, I don't even know why they bother trying to put out the packs in Europe. So in the European pack is like $300.
yeah.
buy it.
Yeah, it's got awful expensive.
It's really
what was
expensive.
it, 180 pounds or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was like, wow, okay, there's a game that I wouldn't buy if I wasn't in the U.S.
Of course, have you seen what the average game prices are like there? I
Well,
mean, you're essentially
yeah.
paying $100 a game.
That's probably true.
Yeah, but they have all the bugs out.
Well, they don't have Nazis in them.
Yeah,
So
that's what you're paying for, is a finalized version of the game.
yeah, you actually get the real game after us suckers in the U.S. are playing it for you for
Yeah,
6 months.
after we're done bug testing it.
Yeah, we're playing for the beta versions, apparently.
It's like the whole of the U.S. is a MMO beta test. Oh, this doesn't work. Well, yeah, we have that plan to be fixed.
It's only 3 patches away
Yep.
Yep.
in a European release.
Yep.
So are we done talking about a
Yeah,
game
we're
that I'll
done.
never
We
play
were
ever,
actually
ever, ever?
done. We were done a while ago.
Okay.
Shooting the shit now.
Okay. Well, that's it for Die Hard Gamer Radio. Join us again next time.
When you'll hear Murdock say,
Ah, are you sure that was tuna fish?
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.